Thank you very much. Sorry that I couldn't make it to speak in person, but it's a pleasure to be addressing you from Seattle over the internet. Also,
Critical thinking.
apologies. I've got a bit of a cold. My voice isn't great, but hopefully you can understand me. So I'm going to talk a little bit
As
about
analytical.
I'm going to talk a little bit about AI AGI, artificial general intelligence, super intelligence, and what it means for humanity and transhumanity. And then finally, how Africa, along with all the rest of the world, can play a positive and proactive role in bringing all these amazing things about, which is a lot to talk about in just a few minutes. So I'm gonna dance pretty lightly over some very deep topics, but I've written a lot about these things before, and I can point those who haven't followed my work sort of out to some other places you can look for more depth and detail. And it is a pleasure to speak about these things toward an audience that's oriented toward transhumanism, because while these days there is a great interest in AI and AGI and even superintelligence, very often the concerns you hear from people are of the form, but how can we be sure these amazing new things will happen without disrupting human life as we know it, right? And the transhumanist perspective is a little different, and I often go back to the quote from Friedrich Nietzsche: man is something that must be overcome. Not that I don't have respect for what humanity is now and the beauty that's there, but humanity has been a process of growth from great ape-like creatures to cave people onto what we are today. And part of being human is to keep growing and keep becoming different and by many measures better than what we were. And in terms of AI, AGI, and superintelligence, I mean, this means not worrying about can we create super AI without disrupting humanity as it is right now. It's more important to think about how do we create super AI in a way that guides and harmonizes with humanity's growth into fundamentally different and more interesting, more intelligent, and in many ways superior forms, right? And that's the way I've always thought about the future of AGI, and I think it's a perspective that's more important now than ever as AI technology is palpably advancing toward AGI so rapidly. So let me take a step back and start with some foundations. I think that AI has been around since the middle of the last century, since even well before I was born in the 60s. The term AI was launched in the late 1950s, right? And it was building on earlier work from Norbert Wiener and cybernetics and other such things, even back well before that. At that time, the concept of AI really meant building thinking machines that could think like people, but even better, right? And over time, AI came to focus more on building programs very good at doing specific smart things. And for this reason, in 2005, I introduced the term AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, in a book by that name, and then an annual conference series by that name. And what I meant by AGI was AI that could generalize beyond its experience. It could make creative leaps of imagination and improvisation beyond its experience, at least as well as people can. And we're not always good at that, but we're sometimes able to do it, right? And of course, if you can take imaginative leaps beyond your experience, this allows you to be what my friend Weaver, David Weinbaum, called an open-ended intelligence, right? I mean, it allows you to be a system that not just maintains your boundaries and maintains the survival of what you are, the ability to generalize and take leaps of imagination beyond your history, beyond your training data. This lets you transcend yourself and transform yourself into something going beyond what you've been in the past. It lets you transform yourself into something that your previous selves would have found incomprehensible, right? So AGI naturally leads to open-ended intelligence, and AGI that's open-endedly self-improving naturally leads to AGI with general intelligence beyond the human level, which is super intelligence. And in terms of the quest of humans to become more than human, perhaps maintaining the core
Ben,
essence of our, yeah.
There is a, technical problem and we are not able to hear you for a while. Can you
Oh
just
no. Okay.
they solve the problem?
You can hear me now? Can you hear me okay now?
Nothing for the while. You can hear us, I see.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But can you hear me right now?
Oh, yes, it's okay. Thank you. Sorry.
So what was the last thing I said that you can hear? I cannot hear you if you're saying something. No, I cannot hear you.
We just lost about 20 or 30. Sorry, we just lost about
Okay, you just lost 30
20 or
seconds or
30
something, then
seconds.
I won't.
Yeah, just go back a little bit.
All right. If you just lost 30 seconds, I will leave it to your human brain's pattern recognition ability to guess what I said during those 30 seconds. You're all smart enough. You're all smart enough to be transhumanists. You should be able to figure out what I said for those 20 or 30 seconds. So yeah, let me keep going then. So where are we now on the quest to create AGI and superintelligence? I mean, we're not there yet. I mean, we have large language models, ChatGPT, Gemini 3, Claude, which are quite smart. And these systems are what I would call broad intelligences. They know a lot of things, which is amazing. They're super, super useful. They're not so good at leaping beyond their training data onto new things. They achieve their breadth of knowledge through a different route, just by having a huge amount of training data fed into them. And that is in many ways a stepping stone toward AGI, which is very, very interesting to have, right? And we can see we're already at the point now where our pre-AGI systems are helping us create the next stage of pre-AGI systems, right? So you could say that now we're at the stage where AI is building smarter AI with humans as helpers that are in the loop, right? Because I mean, vibe coding, AI generation of software and tests and so forth using large language models is making it faster for us to create the next step of AI. So either we're at the stage now where humans are going faster and faster toward creating AGI using proto-AGI tools, or we're at the stage where software systems are building smarter software systems, are building smarter software systems using humans as the medium. And these are two different ways of looking at the same thing. But in any case, I think it's very plausible that we're in the last few years before the advent of human level thinking machines. Ray Kurzweil in his 2000 book, The Singularity is Near, 2005 book, The Singularity is Near, actually published the same year as my original book on artificial general intelligence. But in Kurzweil's book, The Singularity is Near, he forecast 2029 for the advent of human level AGI, then 2045 for the advent of super intelligence, of machines that could think way, way, way beyond the human level, which is what he called the singularity, right? And I think the 2029 date for human level AGI is looking much more plausible now to a wider variety of people than it did in 2005. And you even have some leaders of industry saying, no, that's pessimistic. We're going to get human level AGI in 2027, not 2029, which of course means a lot to our lives and our business plans and such, but doesn't mean much in the scope of the history of humanity, right? That's a tiny little error correction relative to the whole evolutionary trajectory of our species. I also think that the 16 years that Ray projected between human level AGI and superintelligence, 2029 to 2045, seems ridiculously long in the current context. It now seems clear once you have a human level thinking machine, you're probably just, months to a few years from having a superintelligence because this human level AGI can code the next level, which can code the next level and so forth, right? I mean, it's not going to take 16 years for a superhuman thinking machine to create the next level of intelligence. So we're
Please, Ben, you have 2 minutes to for the
oh,
last
okay.
question.
Um, so 2 minutes. Well, if we're on the verge of creating AGI, that doesn't mean that what kind of AGI we create is inevitable, right? So I don't think there's any obvious guarantee that AGI will be beneficial to people, nor any obvious guarantee that AGI will be nasty to people and destructive to our species. I think the best we can understand now, it's within our power to guide the advent of AGI in a beneficial versus a negative direction. And I think if we do that right, we can create an AGI that will help maintain human society for those who want to remain human and will help us expand our brains and extend our lives and connect together into meta organisms and explore whatever transhuman frontiers we want to. Like we can get an AGI which is a compassionate and imaginative helper to humanity and transhumanity if we build it right. And building it right has to do with the right cognitive architecture, an AGI design that is able to be compassionate, to have genuine empathy for other minds and genuine understanding of other minds, which I would say Chat GPT or Gemini don't right now, but one can build AGI like that. It also has to do with how do you teach the AGI? What do you put into its mind? And what is it doing in its childhood? Is it helping people? Is it doing loving, beneficial things? or is it killing people or spying on them or trying to program their brains to buy stuff that they don't need, right? So and this I think is where this is where rolling out AI on decentralized networks, as we're aiming to do with SingularityNet and ASI Alliance, is important because if the first AGI is running on, millions of machines in 100 different countries without any central owner or controller, it's much more likely not to fall under the power of some military or company with a very narrow mandate. It's also where the involvement of folks from Africa and all around the world is very important, because if we want an AGI that can help all of humanity to maintain and transcend, you would like all of humanity to be playing a role in raising and creating that AGI in the first place. So I've been enacting that since 2013 with a company called ICOG Labs in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So we've been doing AI, proto AGI, and robotics development in Addis since 2013, 2014. We have 50 plus AI developers there now. We did a hackathon in Nairobi with a couple hundred AI developers hacking on our AGI programming languages just a couple months ago. And we now have an ongoing presence in Nairobi where we'll be doing a series of hackathons and AGI development events. And this should be happening in Ivory Coast. This should be happening everywhere, right? So I think it's within our power as a species, so it seems, to direct the mind of the emerging AGI in a direction that can be beneficial for all of us.
Dear Ben, we are in the obligation to interrupt your communication. Maybe you can explain something else in the discussions.
We can do that. So I would like to indicate, folks who want more information, you can look at superintelligence.io, singularitynet.io, or look up my recent book, The Consciousness Explosion, which is available as a free PDF for anyone to download.
Thank you very
Merci.
much.